Hey everybody, Randy Reviews It here. So today we're going to be going over the aftermath of the IV8888 range day that I attended, kind of a state of the industry, what I saw there, what I'm interested in, and what maybe you guys should keep an eye out on. So to start things off, let's go with Mean Arms. So Mean Arms was there, and they have a bearing delayed 9mm kind of pistol caliber carbine or pistol, whatever you want to go with, depending on things. It was really awesome. So one of the things that kind of took me back is I didn't know that it would be adjustable. So after talking to the Mean Arms guys, they said it'd be about $1,400 for the upper of these. They have a lifter inside that you can adjust to to tune towards if you're suppressing it or not, which this thing was running really soft shooting, full auto, suppressed. It was running the whole time. They were dumping mag after mag through this thing. So it's really cool. With this, they also offer something called the Endo Mag, which was kind of interesting. And I didn't really think about an application for it until tonight, when basically what it is you can take a P-Mag and you put in their follower and their spring and you can run 9mm out of it. So why is that great? Well, a lot of people have a lot of P-Mags around, but it's not just that. Let's say you SBR'd an AR lower. Now you can buy the shorter Mean Arms upper for it, throw a vert grip on, whatever you want to, and then run it through the same AR lower that you already have that's an SBR. So you don't have to get a whole new lower, and you don't have to SBR that or anything. So if you have an SBR lower already, it's very intriguing, that Endomag portion of it. But the other thing that they were running, and I loved it, I know some people are going to frown upon it, but they had a polymer handguard. And I'm a big fan of that because I run Magpul handguards on most of my AKs that I've had or I've tried to, because it's really good on the heat. So while other kind of rifles or pistol caliber carbines or stuff like that, where they were getting worried about heat, the Mean Arms guys, everyone was still running that thing barehanded because that polymer would not heat up. And it was very durable. They offered lifetime warranty on their uppers. I'm not sure if that carried over to the handguard, so don't quote me on it. But it was built really well. It felt great. It's lightweight, you know, it's polymer. So hoping we start seeing some more of that down the road, because I get it. You want something durable, but at the same time, some of this polymer that they're making nowadays is like really strong, and for most of us, it would be fine. So check out Mean Arms and kind of their bearing delay system that they have coming out, those uppers, if you haven't yet. Number 2, Hoffman Tactical. So Hoffman Tactical was there with Middleton Made, which I've been following Middleton Made for a little bit on Instagram. Was really interested in some of the 3D printed stuff. And I was shocked. I was waiting for one of these 3D printed guns to eat itself alive, because they were running them full auto all day. And these things held up. Like, they were really cool. And the designs that they were making with the 3D printing, so Middleton Made was showing me how they made like a G36 stock out of 3D printing, and that was really cool. So if you're looking or you're interested in some of the 3D printed stuff, Hoffman Tactical is going to be doing it. I think they're working with Middleton Made. I'm not sure necessarily their partnership, but there's also a trigger coming. I don't know how much I can say about this without YouTube getting angry, but let's just say it technically throws itself in safety every time the the bolt is not in battery. And then it's off safety when the bolt goes into battery. So that's what I'll say so far. It's interesting. Get ready to take a look at that. It's going to be hard for certain agencies to argue against it because it's going into safety each time, was kind of what I was told. So really interested in that. They were great. Middleton Made was awesome, talking to him about 3D printed stuff. So that 3D printed stuff has really come a long way. And it's not just like a gimmick anymore. It's definitely, they're making some quality 3D printed firearms now that are lasting, they hold up. So really interested in that. Number three, Gideon Optics was there. So I'd never heard of Gideon Optics, and I was like, another red dot. And then I saw what I was interested in. So they had something called the Mediator there, which was an acro-style sight. So it looks just like an acro, fits the acro mount, but it has the dot circle reticle. So if you're familiar with some of my other videos, I have astigmatism. I can't see like a 3 MOA dot that well. 6 MOA dot, that's a whole other story. We're going to have a video coming on that. Really like 6 MOA dots, and I wish more people were still doing them. But the dot circle reticle, I can see really, really well. And it came in at a crazy price point. These things were only $249.99. So I was really impressed with the price point, and if they're that durable. I think they offer pretty good warranty too. Don't quote me on that. I haven't checked it. I'm trying to remember. It's been about a week with things. So yeah, Gideon Optics had an interesting optic. The next thing, number 4. So there's a device called a Simtech, and I think their website was like simtech.io. And I did a video because I have a Vault-Tec safe on one of the security features that I guess the only reason you would buy a Vault-Tec is it notifies you if your safe is being tampered with. Which, if you have kids around the house or a lot of guests or something like that, it's nice to know that you'll get a notification if anyone messes with your safe. So that was the reason that I bought the Vault-Tec. Well, the Vault-Tec's a really tiny safe, and they're kind of expensive. So you can't fit a lot of gear in there, and as I've gotten more guns and more gear and things like that, I want a bigger safe, I want a cabinet, something like that, like a Gallotech, if you will. Gallotech, if you're listening, hit me up. I'd love to get something working. But what Simtech does is it offers a little device that goes in whatever cabinet, safe, or anything like that that you have, and it has movement sensors, it has light sensors, and it has sound sensors. So basically, it can figure out if your stuff's getting tampered with. It doesn't have to be a gun safe. It doesn't have to be a cabinet either. They talked about how you can put it in your vehicle. You can kind of put it in your console, anything like that as well, and it'll notify you. And the thing that's a little bit different that's interesting is, so this device is $150. So you can turn any safe, cabinet, cooler, whatever you want, into like a Vault-Tec for $150, and my Vault-Tec runs on Wi-Fi. So if you disconnect the Wi-Fi, that security feature is gone. And I want to say like every 6 or 9 months, it seems like it loses connection, and I have to remember the code or whatever it is to get back in. Usually involves resetting it to set that back up on my phone. With Simtech, it runs on cellular, so there's no Wi-Fi that you can just unplug or anything like that, and it runs on cellular, so you do have to have a plan, but it's like $4.20 a month or $46.20 for an entire year. So if you do a year, you get a little bit of a discount there. So it allows it with cell service that if Wi-Fi or if anything goes out, it's still functioning, it's still working. You don't have to worry about that. They were testing and they were showing us notifications. That was really cool. So if you were ever interested in getting a Vault-Tec but you held off, maybe look into getting, like a Sentry cabinet or a Gallotech cabinet, or, a safe, probably not a Liberty one. I know they're under some flack. But if you're looking at that, get one of those safes potentially, get the Simtech in there, and you'll probably be better off than if you were going to buy a Vault-Tec. So number 5. Live Free Armory. So Live Free Armory was there, and they had a ton of buzz for them going around because they had a 2011. Everyone loves a 2011. Everyone wants to shoot that double stack. And it was interesting. So it felt really good. It was decent to shoot. The one thing I would say, though, is they had 3 guns at the start. So 3 guns. Everyone starts shooting Saturday. I got over to shoot the Live Free Armory on Sunday. They only had 1 gun that was still running. And the mag did not drop free. And the optic was loose. They said it was because they didn't Loctite the screws. But, I mean, I don't Loctite necessarily all my stuff right off the bat when I'm sighting it in and testing things, and it usually holds up. So I'm not sure what was going on there. I hope that down the road, the reliability and the QC or whatever was going on that day, that it was just a fluke, because they offer a pretty smooth-looking double stack for about $999, which if you're into 2011s or you're into that double stack 1911 game, that's ridiculously cheap. There's like Rock Islands and stuff like that, but they're usually not on the level that you would expect. So it felt good, and I hope that they can get those things to where they need to be, where they're running, you know, like a staccato or something like that, because that price point is really, really intriguing. I did see a platypus there as well. I didn't get a chance to shoot it, but I felt it. The grip was pretty awesome. I might be looking into ordering one now. I love Stealth Arms' website, so I'm going to be checking that out. I think the platypus is going to be making more and more waves in the future. But we have TCRT targets. So this was kind of an awesome situation, almost universal karma, if you will, that I ran into Kurt from TCRT, because I overheard them talking, and what they do is they offer rubber self-healing targets. So if you know anything about what I've experienced in the past, I bought Infinity targets when they first came out. They said they had 110 round per square inch guarantee. I shot 93 rounds of 9mm through their target. It chewed a giant hole in it. They basically told me to piss off on my warranty, that it was only for 5.56 and I should have read the small print. Shortly thereafter, they blocked me on Instagram. They changed their slogan to 110 rounds per square inch of 5.56. They throw in there now to kind of cover themselves on that, because it wasn't the case with 9mm. And despite all that, I actually liked the convenience of these rubber self-healing targets. You know, I can just keep them in my truck. I can take them to the range. You know, when I go to the range, I just pull out my Amazon target stands, my boards, throw the targets up, clip them, spray paint them, do all that, and I'm ready to go. So I don't have to worry about them getting wet. I don't have to worry about, you know, always keeping cardboard or paper or something like that stocked up and having to replace those all the time. So they're convenient. Well, TCRT offers a more robust self-healing target where they guarantee 400 rounds of 5.56 in a square inch with a 20,000 round life on the targets. So right now they just have, you know, kind of, I believe it's like 3, 6, and 8 inch hangers. They're working on USPSA targets from what Kurt was telling me. Big shout out to him. But the other thing that's interesting is they're coming in, don't quote me, he preemptively looked into it, but they're coming in around $50, the USPSA ones, when they come out. So they're about half the price of the Infinity targets with over 4 times the durability. And you can spray paint them. You can do everything the same. So I don't know if it's karma or what, but I'm going to be reaching out to TCRT and get a few of those when they first come around. I'm really looking forward to those. And then I don't have to worry about my current relationship with Infinity targets on that sort of thing. They still hate me probably, but oh well. It was my experience with them, and I'm going to tell you guys what happened. Number 7. So number 7, in kind of the last one as far as the industry stuff, I'm going to give my shout outs to everyone after this, but number 7 was CMMG. So CMMG was there, and I really wanted to shoot the descents. I shot the Mark 47 one, or the MK47, which is kind of their mutant variant of the descent. The first thing that, and maybe I'm wrong, but I remember Mike from CMMG telling me it was a DI gun yet, but it did have a bunch of settings. I think it was like 15 adjustable gas settings on it. So that's really cool, because if you want to suppress that, depending on your suppressor, everyone knows that I'm a big fan of variation in gas setting. When they come out with 3 gas settings on a gun, it kind of pisses me off, because there's way more than 3 types of suppressors. And really with gas, that's what you're kind of tuning for. It's very rare that you're tuning for the harsh environment system that a lot of these offer. So you usually want to tune that gas down so you get no gas to the face when you're shooting suppressed, which I hope more and more of you are shooting suppressed. It's awesome. Once you do it, you probably won't want to go back. But the descent had a very, very soft recoil. So the Mean Arms had a really crazy soft recoil that was bearing delayed. The CMMG descent, the MK47 was running both days. People were blasting through this thing. They were dropping it in a cooler to cool it off. They had special heat gloves too, because this thing was running like all day, every day. And there weren't any issues with it as far as I saw. And very, very soft recoil impulse. So it was, they had a full auto lower on it, and you were popping rounds off, and it wasn't moving that much from what I expected with 7.62 by 39. They also had the 9mm descent out there, so that's a radial delayed gun rather than a straight blowback. And I didn't get a chance to shoot that, but when I was watching people, they were shooting it very, very softly as well. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of, jumping up. So that's something really cool in the industry to see, is that, like a year or two ago, everything was straight blowback guns, and you were getting these terrible recoil impulses, and everyone was like, I'm going to go back to an MP5 or an MP5 clone or something like that. Whereas Mean Arms and CMMG is, can we design something that's different, that minimizes recoil but still provides that reliability? And from what I saw, the descent in 9mm and the Mean Arms kind of 9mm bearing delay upper, both those were incredibly reliable. Probably thousands of rounds through them in that weekend, and they were just running. They had really soft recoil impulses. I felt the Mean Arms one, that was amazingly soft. The descent 9mm, I didn't get a chance to shoot, but it looked very, very soft as well. So if you're interested in getting something in 9mm, one of those kind of pistol caliber carbines or pistols or something like that, something a little bit different, like an AR style type thing, definitely look into Mean Arms and CMMG. I feel like they're priced well for what you're getting. So yeah, check them out. All right, that brings us over to number 8. Number 8 was SAR USA, which is Sarzalaz, I believe. It's a Turkish company. They did, it seemed like a decent amount of sponsoring at the IV8888 range day. We got some pretty sweet bags from that. But I was really, really impressed with their guns and their lineups and how everything kind of shot. I mean, I'll be fair. I was like looking forward to like dunking on them because my brother owned like a K245 back in the day. The thing was a jam machine. It didn't really run. It might have been his fault. He's kind of a moron at times. Shout out to Bill, who's a complete idiot when it comes to firearms. But SAR USA was there, and first thing they had to offer was the SAR 9, which is kind of their striker fire defensive facing gun. These things ran the whole time. They had no issues. I was really impressed. The other thing is the grip on them is eerily familiar to a VP9. So if you've ever felt a VP9, it feels amazing. They allowed you to change like kind of the palm swell, just like the VP9 does, as well as the back strap. So that was really cool. They shot great. They had solid triggers, and they're coming in at $479.99. So really, really good price point for what felt like a really good gun. They had a few different options and lengths and sizes and stuff like that there. They had a threaded barrel one that they had a can on and they were using. So if you're looking at a striker fired gun and you like a VP9 but you don't like HK prices, I'm not saying it'll run like an HK, but they had a 150,000 round test on these things supposedly. And in the 2 days that I was there, these things ran the whole time. I didn't hear any issues. I really, really wanted to dunk on SAR USA because of just general, like Turkish-made firearms have a bad rap, and it'd be easy to dogpile on them. But to their credit, these things were awesome. And then the one that really blew me away was they have the K12, which is kind of like a Tang Folio CZ Shadow 2 clone. Trigger was absurd. It was such a nice shooting gun. I've never really considered getting into IDPA, and like when I think of single action only, I think of a 1911, 2011. But the K12 was like really, really amazing. I'd have to look up what mags cost before I really dive in, but the gun shot well above its price range. It was $799.99, and it shot like easily like a $1,400 gun. I've shot $1,400 and $1,500 guns that are terrible compared to this thing. The trigger was great, the grip, the feel, the features it came with. I think they offer a ported one, which was like the K12X, which is factory ported. And then there's the K12, I think it was the Sport or just the regular. Had a mag well on it, it wasn't ported. But man, the gun felt amazing, shot amazing. It was easy, it was awesome. So hats off to the SAR USA booth. They did a great job. They were keeping all the mags loaded. Renee over at SAR USA gave me some grip pointers, and I tried them out when I got back. Definitely helped. So shout out to them. They represented strong, and they did a great job there. Number 9, and our last one for the state of the industry, Argos Ordnance. So obviously, if you don't know who Argos Ordnance is, it's kind of Chad's AR-15 company. I'm not sure. I think Eric's involved with it, but I know that Chad was definitely there on the front lines answering all the questions around things. What makes Argos Ordnance a little bit different than some of the other ARs out there? So in my last state of the industry, I talked about the Sugar Weasel and how coming in with an adjustable gas block for $1,500 is really appealing. A lot of people are shooting suppressors now, that sort of thing. Well, Argos Ordnance comes with the rifle speed gas block, which if you haven't seen is just quick adjustable. You don't need a tool for it. It was really cool. Chad gave me a demonstration of, hey, this is what it feels like when it's wide open with a can. Now let's tune it down. And he mentioned not even having like the suppressed plunger for it. So you can pick up different plungers. You can adjust your gun as needed, and it's really quick to dial it in if you're switching ammunitions or anything like that. So really, really cool. They also use a lot of really high-end parts. So the muzzle on them, they're using like a Forward Control Designs Chemo. They have Geisley triggers. They have B5 furniture. They have Springco springs. So they're really using like top tier parts, and they're coming in at $1699.99. So the Sugar Weasel, if you're not a fan of Q and how that all is, as well as, you know, if you want one of those rifle speed gas blocks, Argos Ordnance, they were running. They didn't have any issues. It was really cool seeing them, and they definitely represented there. I think the $16.99 price point is a solid price point where they're essentially giving you, like, if you were going to do your own build and you wanted to pick a lot of great parts, they're doing that, but they're assembling it so they have their good QC. They're pinning the gas blocks, I believe, potentially. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But overall, Argos Ordnance, check them out if you're interested in having an adjustable gas DI system. They come in at a solid price point. You know, in the last State of the Industry, I talked about how that $1,500 price point for the Sugar Weasel was great, because if you want a real adjustable gun above that, you're looking at like a Type A or a Blackout or something like that with the Superlative Arms kit on it. And you're looking, you know, $2,200 plus, $2,400 plus for some of those guns. So the Sugar Weasel was, you know, set to rob the lower end market of adjustable gas blocks. And now Argos Ordnance is doing it, and they're doing it with more of a military focus, I would say, or I should say mil-spec focus. So definitely they're going for a hard use but still adjustable gun. So I wish them all the luck on that. It was great shooting their guns, enjoyable. I'm not a big fan of the B5 furniture, but Chad brought up a really great point that I haven't thought of. I think their grip is a little too aggressive, but he said just get some wet sandpaper and take it down a little bit. He would rather have a grip that you can take down, because you can't put more texture necessarily on it unless you're adding like some goon tape or something like that. So I might actually use that tip to take down my regular defense grips, because they're a little aggressive for my taste as well. So I might take those down. So it was great talking with Chad. I wish them all the luck. The SAR USA people, I wish you all the luck as well. So let's get into the thank yous. There's a long list. Please stick around. I wanted to thank everyone that made this a very memorable trip. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So stick around for that. All right, so I met a lot of really great people. You know, I'm relatively new to YouTube. I'm just about to hit my first year as making videos, and a lot of these people I watched previously, so it's pretty surreal to meet them. But let's start off with Tactical Santi. He runs Coast to Coast Tactical Training. I think he's out of Florida, so if you're down in that area, look him up. He was really awesome. He shoots his staccato a lot. Loves that thing. We had some great conversation. I talked to him a bunch. There was Cody over from Brunel's, who was awesome. He was talking to everyone, meeting everyone. We had Roy Hill, who is Possum Fatback. So he was there representing, you know, a Special Operations Warriors charity. If you're looking to potentially get into donate a charity or something, look him up. Mr. Guns and Gear was awesome. He was there. I got to meet him. It was pretty cool. 22 Plinkster was there, and although I'm not into 22, he was an awesome guy. Definitely into his fishing. It was really cool meeting him and getting to talk to him. The next one I actually want to like kind of give an official apology to. So in the past, I think I've been critical of Such for, you know, like at the time when I was some internet troll or something like that, where I thought he was like shilling for companies. And now that I've met him, I don't think he ever was. He's just genuinely probably one of the nicest humans on earth. So I got to talk to Don Such, and he was just so over the top nice. He's such a nice guy. if you get the chance to meet him, do it. You won't regret it. He was one of the nicest people I've ever met. So Don, I'm sorry if I've been critical in the past. Moving forward, you're an awesome person. It was great talking with you. Rapid Fire Rachel was out there. Congratulations to her. She's expecting. Boomstick Babe was there representing a lot of the 2A right stuff. Pew Pew Daily, Asher was there. I talked to him for a while. It was really cool. VSO Gun Channel, Kurt was there, and we were talking about things, so it was cool meeting him as well. Kevin Dixie from No Other Choice was there, cigaring it up with us, and that was great. And then, you know, Eric, Chad, and Brandy, especially Brandy, I know she does a lot of work putting this together. They put together a great event. We had shade, we had chairs, we had, you know, drinks, we had food, all these things. They put together a very safe event. And then, you know, a shout out to Jared at Guns and Gadgets, who definitely, you know, that I've known from being in Tennessee here. He definitely helped out and gave me a guide to kind of being at my first range day. And then the biggest shout out of all, Johnny B. So Johnny Appalachia is kind of the one that facilitated me getting on the invite list. Huge shout out to him. Very grateful, very thankful. He's a great guy. If you don't follow his channel, you should. It's hilarious. And yeah, I'm just overall grateful for being able to go attend the event and being part of it all. It was my first event ever, and it was a big one. So big shout out to Jared and especially Johnny for everything. So I'm very thankful for what they've done. Johnny's helped me, you know, kind of facilitate my channel as well, pointing me in the right direction as far as cameras, lighting, you know, content, that sort of thing. So he's helped me grow my channel. So huge shout out to him. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this informative. I hope you're looking forward to some of these products, and very thankful for the opportunity that I was given and kind of being able to meet these people that I've watched on YouTube for years. So I'm very elated, if you can't tell. I met some great people, potentially, you know, friendships there. So yeah, looking forward to things. I'm looking forward to going next year as well. All right, everyone. Take care, and thanks for watching.